Race riots erupted in the U.S. city of Brooklyn Center in Minnesota following the fatal shooting of a black man by police. The man was shot in a car after being pulled over for a traffic violation, and that provoked crowds to flock to the local police department. There was looting in the area, of course, as well as clashes. The National Guard were deployed, tear gas was used. Now, Brooklyn Center is 10 miles from Minneapolis, where it was last year that the death of a black man at the hands of police led to nationwide protests. There was a race-related unrest in California as well. A White Lives Matter rally had been organized online, but was met by a larger group of counter-protesters from Black Lives Matter. The confrontation descended into violent clashes with bloody fistfights too.
Remember me, because I'm going to lay you the
I hope.
Yes, that's how you do
There was a heavy police presence as well, and several arrests were made on both sides. The counter-protesters later claimed it was a victory for Black Lives Matter. Well, here are reactions from both sides.
Black Lives Matter people here, and, White Lives Matter too, and we all want to be treated equally. That's what's going on.
The KKK never ended. They're alive. They may not wear the sheets and the costumes they used to, but they wear regular clothes, and they also are still active in creating racism and trying to harm people of color.
We spoke to the editorial director at the Reactionary Times. Julio Rivera says the rallies were used as a pretext for the Black Lives Matter movement to reassert itself.
This is some kind of a false flag, because in Seattle, there was supposed to be one of these rallies that never really materialized. And what did materialize was a large amount of counter-protests. I think this is something that's being set up probably by the radical Marxists that are behind Black Lives Matter to just give them an excuse to go back out into the streets and cause problems. Listen, this Black Lives Matter movement, just to speak on it broadly, has never been about equality. It's always been about Black superiority. We saw that last year in some of the videos. There probably are a group of white people that are frustrated at this point with the way that the media has been portraying race relations in America. Some of them may be extremist white supremacists, but some of them, you can't argue with a white person being frustrated with the racial narratives in America that isn't racist at all. Maybe somebody who believes that Black Lives Matter and white lives matter and all lives matter.
Well, racism has been branded an epidemic. America's Health Protection Agency, the CDC, claims it poses a serious threat to the well-being of the nation, and it's launched a special portal to tackle the issue.
All right, well, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakadash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and a sincere shalom to the brothers out here that's sincerely pushing this truth, and a sincere shalom to the elect. And as you hear it that people start to catch on that this ain't about being equal. This is about trying to really gain acknowledgement from the oppressors. But now you're just seeing race wars, class wars, pretty much faction wars at this point, because now it's because another Jake, I forgot his name, who got shot. Now everybody's in an uproar. You have quote unquote blacks and whites that's in an uproar. Do you have them turning on each other, just like the BLM was turning on each other? This is still no different. Now you got people white, and you have Esau rising up saying, white lives matter. And the funny part is you have Edomites or in white looking Edomites, or should I say Jake with white skin that supports BLM, but then you got Jake that supports white lives matter. So now you just had them just going at it like it's a free for all. But Esau sets these things up. He sets these things up, and he plays it into tactics just so he could cause confusion, cause any problems, so he could come in with a solution. This is Micah 2:1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand." Now, this is nothing new. This has been going on for a couple of years now. Last year was all about the virus. Now, this year is all about people getting shot, getting killed. The year before last year was about Jake getting shot. So Esau, we know what Esau does, and we're fine with it at this point, because the further he pushes these prophecies, the better we can get out of this place. Now he's going to try to come in with a solution to maintain civil unrest, because that's basically what this is. Everybody's in an uproar. One guy, once state gets killed, all the people from all over the state gets upset. This is nothing new, but we see the game. We see the game of how Slocky had the wrong page up, but we see what's going to happen next. Just like how this is no wonder that every year something gets worse and worse, and then it ties into something else. Then here comes Esau with the government or the CDC to come in with a solution. And it's always usually like a fast solution, especially with what happened last year with the virus. But they still having problems. That's where, especially when this whole mark of the beast is going to kick in, that we see it. But then he's causing chaos and mischief within his own kingdom. And that's what he wants. This is Matthew 12:26. "And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?" And that's exactly what we're seeing. We not only got his kingdom fighting each other, but you got his people even starting to come up against him in a formal way, even while they still worship and trying to save Esau. They will still because this is Babylon. This is the land of confusion. So they want to fight against their oppressors, but they want to love them at the same time. They're trying to gain recognition against them from him, but at the same time they have a form of hate. So this is why this is the place where all sorts of nations, minds, and things in the religions come up together, and they wonder, why can't we all get along? Well, that video was proof. This video was proof that we ain't out here to save Edomites, and we ain't out here to save our own people unless they have the elect. Because eventually our people is going to be saved when they get destroyed, coming back into their rightful mind when the kingdom comes back in. So I was just going to keep it short, sweet, and simple. So with that, shalom.